Hi everyone, so today we're going to do another Year 7 favourites, which is apple crumble. There's a few options as you'll see later. I couldn't get any cooking apples this morning, which is a bit annoying. The cooking apples are best for this. So they are the large apples that are like really big. So we only need about 3 probably for the quantity that we tend to make in school, enough for a few people. Anyway, I've just got regular apples, all right, so obviously you need more of them because they're smaller. Okay, so you've got to be careful what apples you buy. These ones are Granny Smiths, which tend to be quite not bad for cooking because they don't immediately mush up. If you get other varieties of apples, as soon as you heat them, they kind of just go to like a mush, which is not what you want for apple crumble. You want a little bit of texture in there. Okay, so the point of this lesson in many ways is using a knife, and be confident when using a knife or another cutting implement. Now, often in these lessons, I would talk about a peeler. So there are 2 sorts of peelers generally. This one's called a speed peeler. If you have a look how this works, so you put it towards you, like this. And as you can see, it's pretty quick, hence the name. We have these other ones, which are just regular veg peelers. And again, you normally would put it towards you. These aren't quite as quick as this one. However, for the purpose of this lesson, which I normally do, and this is obviously easier with a cooking apple, is to use a knife, just a small knife, it's called a paring knife, and an apple in your hands and peel it. Now, why do we do that? Is it dangerous? Can be, but it gives you confidence on holding a knife and food close together, right? You need that confidence. So, the way this works is, and in school we have a competition to see who can get the longest peel. So start at the top, put the knife in. Remember, you control the knife. It's a difficult balance this. If it's too fat, it will break. If it's too thin, it will just go through. So you go around. Now at this point, it's a little bit easier, let me see, but because I've got the white there, kind of the point of the knife follows that white line, if that makes sense. And we'll just go around. Actually, mine's a little bit thick, actually, but that's okay. And when you come to like the natural end, we can't really go that much further. All right, that bit's fallen off. And there we go, is our apple. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna peel all the apples, and I'll show you in a second how we prepare them ready to cook for the first stage of the crumble. So apples are peeled. Just gonna show you the way that we cut the apple ready for put them in the saucepan to cook them initially. So this is where we use the bridge hold. So put the apple like this, put your hands just like a bridge, put the knife in the middle, and we're going through the core. See there's a dark core there? Through the core, then we get 2 halves. At that point, put the 2 halves on a chopping board or on a board. And then you're gonna cut down, again, cut down the middle, but you're gonna go through the core. All right, so through and through. Now at this point, you have 2 options. One option is to, again, be confident, hold the quarter in your hand with a small paring knife, put the knife in and gently pull it towards you. Now you're controlling the knife, all right? It's stop it, you can stop at any point, stop, and that's the core taken out, and that's the quarter. The other way of doing it, and this is actually easier if you have a large apple, like a cooking apple, is to have the quarter of apple there, put the knife in at a bit of an angle and just gently saw down so that moves the core. All right, either method, whatever you're happy with, but it's all about practice. What we're now going to do is literally, now these are obviously quite small. If you had a cooking apple, you do these, it'd be bigger generally, but don't cut the apple small. Students often do tiny little squares, and then when you cook it, it kind of vanishes virtually. So keep it chunky. You could even keep it like this, but maybe just cut it in half, bridge hold again. Nice and chunky. And I'm literally going to put those straight into a saucepan. The heat's not on yet, nothing's in there, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so what's going to happen then? I put the apples into the saucepan. I've added 1 tablespoon of water. That seems a bit pointless, really, the tablespoon of water, but what it does, it kind of kicks off all the juices coming out, and 25 grams of sugar, just plain white sugar. Now what you then do is over a heat, you just want to basically cook it enough so that the apples just start to basically warm up and the sugar melts. No more than that, all right? What can happen is you just leave it the sugar will burn on the bottom and you get burnt bits and uncooked bits. All right, so you want to give it a little stir every so often. And literally, it's going to take, as soon as it's hot enough, it's going to take about 1 minute. Let's just remove that there. All right, so what we're looking for basically is for the sugar to melt. This all seems a bit pointless, like what's the point? But what happens, it does kind of kickstart cooking the apples. If you put raw apple in, it's not quite the same. It doesn't quite cook the same as if you do this part. So that now is nearly done. I was trying to escape. So when I look at the apple, it's warm. The edges have started to slightly soften, and the sugar has melted. All right, so it's hot, but that's it. Okay, so we're going to turn that off. You can make the crumble now, but I have turned the oven on to preheat it. It's on 180. Just a reminder, 180 is a pretty good temperature. I guess mark for 180 if you're not sure what the temperature should be. All right, so we're now going to make the crumble part. Okay, so the crumble's made. One thing we need to do is work out what we're going to put it in. All right, so you could use like one of these, like a cake tin, or I do sort of a Pyrex lasagna dish. It all depends on the quantity, really. What you want and how you want to do it. So if you want to do it what's called family style, do a big one, put it on the table. You could even do little ones, you get little ramekins that you could actually put the mixture and have individual ones. Completely up to you. So it will cook basically at the same rate. I'm just going to use this cake tin just because it's what I have. So when you put the mixture in, there's be some liquid as well. You want all that liquid, all right? You want all the liquid. There we go, all right? And then I'll put the crumble on in a second and explain the actual crumble then. So what we've got is 150 grams of flour. It doesn't matter whether it's self-raising or plain, it's irrelevant for a crumble. And 75 grams of butter. Now where possible, do use butter, as in actually milk from a cow. Lots of people use like a spread, or something like that. Butter is just generally better. If you use a spread, it's quite difficult to make crumble. It kind of goes to a lump. So where possible, and need to remember what these spreads are kind of generally oil that are chemically, with something chemical in there to kind of bring it together to form a spread. It's not particularly natural. So where possible, use butter, although it is obviously more expensive. Now I can't do much with a massive chunk, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into much smaller pieces, and that will make life easier to rub it in. So what the key technique here is what we're going to do is called rubbing in. All right, so use the quite a bit making scones, for example, you'd rub in, or if you're making crumble, you'd rub in. There's a few, or biscuits sometimes, you may have to rub the butter into the flour. It's important to know when to stop when you're rubbing in, because if you do it too much, you'll find that you'll get like it will all come together and you'll have a biscuit rather than a crumble. So get your actual hands in, and what you're going to do is, what the key technique here is that there's a lump of butter there, is that you squeeze it between your thumb and your first finger with the flour. All right, this should take, this butter's quite hard actually, just come out the fridge. If it was a little bit softer, it would be quicker, but this should take 20 seconds, I guess. But get right to the bottom, because you want it obviously evenly distributed. And what you don't really want is a massive chunk of butter in there, because when it cooks, it'll melt and you'll have like a pool of butter. Right, as I'm doing this, as you'll see in a second, there's a wide range of options to crumble. So I'll just get apple, but you could have, of course, put blueberries or berries. Any berry works. Obviously, blackberry is kind of a famous one. I'll leave it as crumble, or just apple crumble. But for the topping, you could put in cinnamon or nutmeg. You could put on, I'm going to put sugar in here in a minute, but you put different sort of sugar, white sugar, demerara sugar, which I'm going to do, which is like a crunchy brown sugar, gives a bit of texture, and you can even put some porridge oats in, which also I'm going to do because I've got some. So that probably was a bit longer than 20 seconds. So what we're looking for is a crumble. So notice there's a few bigger lumps, but it's not a major problem. You're not going to get it absolutely perfect, but what you're looking for is a sandy texture. All right, a sandy type texture. Now at this point, where the options can start. So I've got some porridge oats, just because when we make flapjacks and what have you in school. Just if you want to, put a handful of them in. If you don't want to, then don't. It goes in addition to the 150 grams of flour. So we've got some cinnamon here. You could use nutmeg. as well. Not much because it's quite strong cinnamon. A little shake. Now we've also got to put in the sugar, which is 50 grams of sugar. So as I said, you can either use white sugar all the way through, or you can mix the sugars up. So I've got white sugar in the apple and brown sugar in the topping. It doesn't really matter. All right, I put 50 grams in. I know roughly what 50 grams is, so I would measure it, however. Do notice that the order for this matters, all right? You must do the butter and the flour first, then you put in the sugar and then whatever else you want. Now I'm not mixing it as such, I'm not kind of rubbing it together, I'm just mixing it and there we go. All we now do is get our tin that we've chosen, whether it's big ones, small ones, whatever, and we just sprinkle over the crumble mixture. Now there is no, you don't need to mix it up, don't pat it down, because when it cooks in the oven it will kind of sort itself out. Anyway, spread it to the sides. Now that's going to go in the oven for around 20 minutes. All right, so I'll see you in 20 minutes time. Okay, well, it's been in the oven actually just over 20 minutes, only because I got distracted by something. But look, I mean, how amazing does it look? Show me if you don't have smelly vision, because it smells absolutely amazing. You know it's kind of done. I guess it's kind of like, you can't see what's happening with the fruit underneath, but what will happen is it will kind of slightly crack and it will puff up a little bit as the fruit underneath kind of boils, like the sugar in there boils, and it will make this crack. And you see it's a bit around the edge. So it's fairly obvious, to be honest, but let's take just a little bit out and just have a little look. But nothing nicer than a crumble with some cream or custard or both or ice cream or all three. Why not? But look at that, apple crumble. Enjoy. Again, on the description, there'll be a link to the recipe and the method. See you all soon.